The Birds' second ever championship parade was wild, with crazy moments including Howie Roseman getting hit in the head with a beer can. Plus, why A.J. Brown ended up stealing the show with his speech, why BG's decision to return sounds very real, and exactly how far behind Jalen Hurts thinks the Eagles already are for 2025. I'm Thomas Mott, this is The Thomas Mott Show. The Eagles' championship parade on Friday was absolutely wild, as the beers were flying, the vibes were high, and the Birds even gave up a little bit of blood along with their sweat and tears to celebrate the team's second Super Bowl in the last 7 years. And naturally, with all Super Bowl parades, there are some awards we need to give out to people along the way. First award, how about most dedicated fan, going to this guy who went to the parade but still made sure to call into his Friday work Zoom meeting. Hope you were on mute, buddy, because it was pretty loud around you. Best autograph of the day, how about Zack Baun for literally signing a baby's head, little kiss at the end. Man, Baun has got to make sure he stays in Philadelphia. Drunkest Eagle, well, there was some stiff competition because everybody was feeling pretty good. I think Nolan Smith was definitely up there. At one point, he was seen stealing a kid from the crowd and basically walking away with him. There's also Landon Dickerson, who was fired up all day long, but clearly had a pretty strong pregame going early in the day.
All I gotta say is go Bird!
Although my personal winner for most drunk Eagle of the entire day has to be Quinyon Mitchell. That guy was absolutely gone.
What?
To the people of Philadelphia, your love message.
Go! Eagle! Let's go!
Moving over to best kick of the day, how about Jake Elliott with the beer can field goal? That one looked pretty good, probably good from 50. And best catch was probably a tie between A.J. Brown's one-handed beer grab, and how about the former wide receiver himself, the Super Bowl champion Nick Sirianni, snatching it out of the sky. Least amused, you could probably guess who won that award. It was none other than Jalen Hurts, who I'm pretty sure had 0 sips of alcohol the entire day. Come on, that's Jalen Hurts, and we know he's just focused on that next Lombardi trophy. Now, the craziest moment of the day was probably a tie between Howie Roseman, who apparently got hit in the head with a beer can that actually drew blood.
Roseman!
I bleed for this city! Go Eagles!
And of course, Cooper DeJean, whose massive Bud Light chain actually ended up smacking himself in the head and cutting him also right above the eye. Also, I want to give a quick PSA to all the renters out there. If you have not heard of Bilt Rewards, you're going to thank me. Bilt is essentially a no-cost rewards program where you pay your rent through Bilt to earn redeemable points you can transfer to book your favorite flights and hotels at over 500 airlines and 700,000 different hotels and properties. Essentially, think of it as just how like you use your credit card to earn rewards points whenever you buy groceries or travel. But you can actually link any credit card to Bilt and earn Bilt points on top of the credit card points you're already earning whenever you spend at Bilt Partners. How about this for an example? Let's say you wanted to fly into Philadelphia and watch the Birds' home opener this coming September, where of course they'll raise their championship banner. Well, how about just 12,920 Bilt points instead of $161? And all the Bilt points you earn can be redeemed at a ton more places, not just hotels and flights, including workout classes and even your next rent payment. You can start earning points right now whenever you sign up using the link down below in my description box, or just scan the QR code, should be on the screen, I think right over there. Make sure you use my link or my QR code, that way Bilt know I sent you. I mean, hey, you're already paying rent, so why not do it through Bilt? That way you can earn those Bilt points. Now, when it comes to speeches, all of them were obviously great. I think A.J. Brown's, though, might have taken the cake. It was my personal favorite because he knew exactly who he was talking to whenever he said this.
They said I was a diva. They said all I care about was stats. If you're gonna get all those things wrong about me, but one thing you can get right, I'm a champion.
Although you can't forget about offensive lineman speeches during Super Bowl parades in Philadelphia. We got a history of them being pretty darn good, and shout out to a couple of the guys up front. They had some pretty good speeches to the crowd.
I'll tell you right now, when I got drafted here, everybody said it was impossible to play in Philly. I found out all y'all want is for us to give everything we can for this city, and y'all give it right back. Nick Foles taught me how to speak soft and to carry a big stick. That was actually Teddy Roosevelt, but I thought it was pretty fitting. We are the champions, my friend. There we go, come on! We keep on fighting to the end.
But in the end, I think BG might have given us the biggest hint of all the speeches. Like, tell me this doesn't sound like a guy who is 100% not retiring and thinking about playing in 2025.
Only problem I have is that it's over. This season is over, and we're getting ready for the next one.
Don't forget, Brandon Graham was probably the best pass rusher pre-injury on the Philadelphia Eagles, and then you get into the fact that he looked pretty darn good during the Super Bowl. He didn't officially announce anything, but I think he hasn't officially, if you want to use that word, declared he's going to retire. The longer we wait, the better the chance he has of coming back for one more year. Also, since we're still celebrating the Super Bowl win, let's give away another one of these Eagles championship t-shirts. Mine came in the mail yesterday if this video gets to 70,000 views. So be sure to be subscribed, drop a like, and then of course to enter, just leave a comment down below. Now naturally, once the parade dust settles and the hangovers inevitably subside, the Birds will have to get back to work actually pretty quickly. Starting of course with healing key injuries in preparation for next season, including Landon Dickerson, who confirmed on Thursday he will have some form of off-season knee surgery, which just further confirms how insanely good he was in the Super Bowl, likely on just one knee. Likewise, Jake Elliott also hinted at some form of unspecified injury that obviously hindered him last year and will take some time to heal this offseason. Oh, and lastly, the forgotten James Bradberry, who tore his Achilles back in training camp and remains under contract in Philadelphia heading into 2025. He did tell the media yesterday, though, he's hoping to be ready to go 100% by OTAs and wants to convert back to corner to help the team in the future. Next, Philadelphia needs to figure out their internal free agents because NFL free agency is March 10th, less than a month from today. While guys like Josh Sweat are very likely gone in the coming weeks, Zack Baun confirmed during his media availability that he loves Philadelphia, he hopes to stay, but did admit it's a process that's going to get going early next week.
Haven't really talked. We haven't talked.
At one point, will you start thinking about that, the business stuff of all of this side of this?
Yeah, maybe early next week after I've recovered from a headache and next week I think I'll really start diving deep into what my future may hold.
I've said before that Zack Baun feels like a lock to re-sign in Philadelphia. I've heard from people around his orbit that he wants to stay here out of pure loyalty to Vic Fangio, although once those dollars start to fly from other teams, all bets are really off. Next, of course, there's Milton Williams, who's coming off not only his best game of the year, but really the best season of his entire Eagles career. And while his words might suggest there's a chance for a Philadelphia return,
Is this where you want to be?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
his Clutch Sports Agency hoodie tells a very different story.
But I ain't to that point yet. But no, that's definitely gonna happen in the future with me and my family, my team, and we're gonna definitely talk about all that stuff. But for right now, I'm just trying to soak all this stuff in. Being a Super Bowl champion is crazy. It comes with a lot of perks, and I ain't used to that, so it's going to take some getting used to, but no, it's been fun for sure.
Right now, Sportrac currently projects Milton Williams' value at about 3 years for $36 million, but it is a pass-rushing defensive tackle lacking free agency market, so I expect a bidding war between teams with a lot of cap space to make that number go a ton higher. All while Philadelphia is working all the free agency angles, they have to figure out a brand new offensive coordinator, as Kellen Moore's head coaching campaign in New Orleans officially took flight this week, and obviously he's not coming back. Jalen Hurts, naturally, probably has a large say in the next OC and was asked about it during his locker room cleanout session, and you tell me if this isn't the most glaring endorsement of Kevin Patullo Hurts could have given.
Yeah.
On that is Jalen Hurts wants someone with true offensive coordinator experience, and Kevin Patullo obviously doesn't have that, especially after what went down with Brian Johnson. Like, having a steady voice who's been there and done that from a play-calling perspective might be key. And while I still think Patullo is a very strong candidate, probably the likely candidate, the confirmation last week that both Lurie and Roseman will search far and wide outside of the organization for a candidate likely means it will take a few weeks of interviews before determining the winner. And trust me, I do mean winner, because the OC job for Philadelphia is all but a guaranteed launching pad for a future head coach, unless of course you're Brian Johnson. One more thing on Jalen Hurts though, his long week of obviously hated media hits has clearly run its course. The Birds QB1 sounds very hungry to get back on the field, telling reporters earlier this week that because the Birds played all the way into February, he's way behind on his prep for the coming season.
You work 364 days of the year just for one moment, and the mission has been accomplished. And I know the iteration of this team this year will never be the same. You know, you go through changes, and every year is different, every team is different, and so we'll have our moments allocated to enjoy everything we've been able to accomplish, but also understanding that, you know, we're behind in terms of what's to come. And you think about what it took and what it takes, and I know I'm behind in terms of what's to come in the future. You know, you play this longer to the year. You got other people, other teams, other quarterbacks kind of have a head start of the next year. So I just want to plan out my routine and plan out my off season so I can put the appropriate work in with my teammates.
Am I the only one who thinks that the Eagles winning a Super Bowl has only awoken a sleeping giant with Jalen Hurts? Like, I thought he was motivated before the Super Bowl. He sounds even more locked in and understands that in terms of legacy, Hall of Fame, and still proving plenty of offseason doubters wrong, winning multiple Super Bowls is his key to success. And I think that leads into the final part of this coming offseason, the D word, or dynasty, one that always gets thrown around when a young team like Philadelphia dominates in a Super Bowl while still having like 90% of their core players under contract. And that word has been thrown around a lot inside Philadelphia, and even inside the Birds locker room. They're not trying to hide away from it, but they do understand just how hard it is to not only win one, but what it will take to go ahead and get a second one basically a year from now.
Yeah, I mean, Dynasty's putting together multiple, quickly. So, yeah, I mean, it was a big win, obviously, for us. I hope everybody can remember what it took to get here and all the time and effort. It wasn't just something you show up and do. And so remember that. And then, after this experience is over, refocus and re-engage.
I said after the game, why can't our dynasty start now? Probably had a little bit of champagne and other stuff in my system at the time, but you really can't focus on that. You just got to enjoy the moment. It's hard to win one, and you take it in, you enjoy the moment, and you start over. And it kind of starts all over after Friday.
Dynasty or not, it is fun to watch the rest of the league start to fall in line and show off their jealousy of the Birds and what they have going forward.
Who has a more passionate fan base, the Eagles or the Cowboys?
I can answer that.
Eagles.
Eagles?
They're crazy.
Definitely some teams seem to make it feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints have just pretended it doesn't exist for a while now.
And the Eagles are paying everybody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that seems like the way, whatever they're doing.
Well, all except a certain quarterback from Dallas who's costing his team $90 million towards their cap next season, but sure, it's the boys' time.
I feel like we compete with the Eagles and beat them for the most part when we played them. I don't want to say check the record when they're the guys holding the trophy right now, so credit to them. They've earned it and they deserved it by all means, but very close, especially even watch the NFC game, the NFC Championship, and those two teams that we battle against each and every year a couple of times, and as I said, feel confident about we've gotten the better part each and every time. To see it in such a dominating fashion, credit to them. It's our turn and it's on us.
This week has been nuts, from actually winning the Super Bowl to all the media hits and culminating in the Friday championship parade. As fun as you possibly could have. I mean, there were so many people walking down Broad Street having a bunch of fun, all the players going crazy. It's just exciting to see Philadelphia continue to revel in their second Super Bowl ever, but I loved all the comments from the players after their locker room cleanouts, basically saying, hey, winning is great, this was our goal, it's never going to be the same, blah, 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 but our focus is on 2025 and running it back next year, and if you're not excited about that, then I don't know what to tell you. Now, obviously, plenty more stuff happening really the next couple of weeks. NFL free agency is going to be here before you know it, and the rumors and all the who the Eagles are going to sign, who they're going to re-sign is going to come very, very quickly. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe. Thomas Mott, this has been The Thomas Mott Show.